Totally.
Yeah, there's a lamp just fell on my face. Yeah, so I have, you know, dead mouse, dead mouse, dead remote, battery tester.
Naturally.
I don't know. Like there's just so like golf balls, golf balls. Oh my god! All right, take a look. All right, check out that. Like
Oh, does
that is that
the
is
lens cap slide off too?
whop.
Oh, that's the good stuff. Phew, is that an HP camera?
Of course it
I
is.
don't think they make cameras
So
anymore.
it was the first digital camera I ever had.
That was probably a nice camera though.
3.1 megapixels.
Nice.
Um. Oh, the of course this is still floating around here.
Oh wow, it's a classic.
No, that's not the classic. That's the classic.
Boom. Look at that
Booyah.
baby face knobs with those chops.
That's right. Chops. Funny story. That iguana totally attacked me right after that.
Yep.
Who's that? Freeland.
Yes. Hey, NYC Badger. Whew. I'm
Oh, I do
pooped.
not have Twitch open either. I
Your
gotta...
family here this weekend?
Oh yeah. How is Pops? Tell your mom I said hi.
I will. She wasn't here. It was
Oh.
my wife's family.
Oh. I'm sure she... Is he eating?
Probably. I lost 35 pounds last year, so, starting to look back to normal. Hey, Coaster Mall.
TWI. Oh, wait, I can just do it this way. Wah, wah, wah.
I have like 3 games I played. I have a lot to say about one of them, but
I think I may have 3 and an anecdote.
oh, I forgot one. Jeez. Yeah, keep it quiet over there, Scuttle. Or Tybalt, whichever one. Hey there, Donbag. Look at all these peeps in here.
Oh no.
Very nice to see all of you. Oh, the beast stirs.
How about, there we go. I mean, whoa, beard. It's only been there for like a few weeks.
Hey, maybe he wasn't here last week.
It was bigger. I got trimmed down the sides a little bit because it was getting all feral.
Get it focused.
Yeah, I just kind of get looking for like muzzle.
Yeah. Less Wolverine. More somebody else.
You get it up tight around the ears.
That's true.
I hate when this flop it over. Or I wear a hat and I look like the Dutch boy with the little...
Dimebag asks, hey Boston, did you have trouble with the controlling in Witcher 3 because I'm hating it so far? Yeah, I turned on the alternate control scheme. I think you have to turn that on from the main menu before you load your game, and that helped out a lot. But it's just a little weird. It got me a while to get used to, and then I kind of didn't hate it anymore, but... Excuse me. Alright, you ready to kick this thing? Un momento.
Yeah. Uno momento, por favor.
Oh, gotta get show notes up here. I shared show notes with you, right?
Going with sour apple.
Ooh.
You did.
Yeah, Badger, the momentum, there's something weird about... I feel like a lot of third-person games either find that perfect spot where the momentum makes sense, or it's on either pole. Like, either you stop and your character stops immediately, or it's like you're playing Mario 64 and they're on that ice level, where it's like they take 1 or 2 more steps than you expect them to take. Drives me crazy.
God, I feel like the lighting is weird. 'Cause it looks like I get like that Mortal Kombat head where it's got those big circly things above my eyes, like like that comic style they had for a while, where it's just like bleh, it looks like everyone's been punched in the noggin so many times.
Yeah. A weird...
This lighting in here is horrible.
Not good for my complexion.
It's what happens when it hits you in the face.
Yeah. All right, you good now?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's kick this thing off. All right, starting
We
in
start recording?
a while ago.
I don't get
Did
it.
you not?
Oh, yeah. No, I did.
Okay. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of that video game podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Knobs.
Ew.
Let's. It's gonna be a weird show today, everyone.
Uh,
Let's just get started with what you've been playing for this last week.
all right. Well, we still have a Monday night game night. We played Battlefront, Star Wars a couple times, and I,
Whatever this noise means,
I don't know.
it's
I mean,
okay.
I am forcing myself to say, no, this is great. I'm having a lot of fun. Like,
As
yeah,
your
Star
respawn
Wars.
times get longer and longer.
Oh, man, oh man, it drives me nuts. It really does.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate being that guy. It's like, I just take a deep breath,
I'm getting real salty. I'm not having fun.
and then I just lose my poops for like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and then it's very uncomfortable. I feel bad about it.
Well, especially in a multiplayer game like that, I feel like if you don't have that momentum going where you at least feel like you're competing, then you feel like you're just, all right, I spawned, dead. Cool,
Well, no,
I
here's
will
the
wait
thing.
30 seconds.
I'm in the middle of the pack every round. Like, it's not like I'm 0, but I would like to be maybe 9 and 15, not 9 and 35.
Wow.
Like, it's, and that's like 9 to 10 kills is middle of the road.
Jeez.
It's just, it seems, but everyone seems to be dying that much. It drives me insane.
Well, it's also weird, too, that, like, even if you're not great at shooters, there's often a time where you'll be, like, maybe first or second. Like, maybe every once in a while, you're like,
Oh, yeah.
wow, that was a great round. Like, it just came together.
Oh, like, my best rounds have been like 25, 30 kills, and I'm not even close to the top.
That's weird.
Like, it's single digits, double, like, you know, like 10s, 20s, 80s. Like, what are you people doing? Like, how is that possible you killed 80 humans in this game? I don't know.
Without playing it, it just, my knee-jerk reaction is that sounds like a balance issue. Because how are you killing 80 people in a match like this?
Don't understand. And that game is rife with campers, and I just, come on. Dude, run around like an idiot like the rest of us. Like,
And
we're all here to have fun. Why are you just camping this one little... Like, oh, if you had a face, I would punch it. Like,
Well, and also, like, there's always going to be some camping that happens, but in a well-designed map, nobody should be truly safe in one spot. There should be, all right, we're going to work all the way around and come up behind them and then kill them or something like that. But if they're way too entrenched and kind of protected in there, they gotta fix that.
even in Battlefield, when the guy has clipped halfway through the floor and is kind of shielded, you can still kill him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's not 100%. Like, even, like, the snipers that are way off in the distance. Yeah, like, props on those guys. Is even though you may think they're camping, and none of those shots are easy.
Oh, totally, yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of stuff you got to account for. And so next week we're going to play Battlefield 4.
Cool. It sounds, I gotta say, you guys gave it a shot, though. Like, you put in hours, you spent the time, and eventually you said, not really a game that's clicking with us.
It's not, well, it's more or less not clicking with me.
Yeah.
Like, everyone seems, Scott and Tomsy seem to be having the same kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
That, and man, no one in Star Wars can jump for anything, unless you have a jump pack. You can't dodge a pebble. Like, and that's the other thing is the mobility in these maps. Like, I feel like I'm always caught on something to where it stops my forward momentum, and I'm just like, oh, and then someone comes like, ha ha, pop pop pop.
Right, like you stumbled over a rock and someone
Yes.
headshots you. And it's just like, what? I didn't. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like you walked into the door and you're like, whoa, you're disoriented for a second, you're dead. Like, come on.
And
Like,
some of that makes me crazy hearing about it because there's so few maps. Like
yes,
those
and
should be polished within an inch of their life.
oh, and they're all rocky, argulated terrains and stuff that you have to work your way up. I was like, all right, I get it. You don't have a double jump unless you
Mm,
have the jetpack. Fine. At least give me the opportunity to mantle over something.
yeah.
Like you can't even do that.
Like let me use my
Like I don't
hands.
know how many times like I do that jump where you go,
Yeah, you're just like smacking your face on the top of the rock, and it's just like
no,
just
like your
grab
feet,
something.
like I can't quite get my toes up there. It's like you got hands, pull yourself up, man.
I
Like
don't know how to
it's
use my hands.
use those meat hunks. Just get up there, get it.
That's
Oh,
frustrating.
it is like
We figured this out. Games have solved this.
well, yeah, especially after going back to other games. Like I think the biggest problem is there's no carrot in this game. Like
Right.
like yeah, leveling up your battle cards. Yeah, that's not really what I want to do.
Yeah, it's like that's cool and all, but Battlefield 4 has way more experience bars and I get stuff from them. Like
Exactly.
weapons and stuff.
You're like the carrot is constantly dangled in front of you. You're like at the end of the match, like you're leveling up this, you're leveling up that. You can see this, you can see that, and this is just one big bar going level and just whatever you happen to have equipped at the time.
And
But
Battlefield
it doesn't
doesn't
even show you what progress you're making. Like I hit level 2 on something, I don't even know what it's for.
And Battlefield does it so well because not only are there a good number of bars, but you know, like, if you level up this dude, you're just going to get this cool weapon, and you're just waiting. You're just waiting because it's getting so close, and that gun looks so cool.
Yeah.
And then you got to level that thing up.
Like I just don't I really don't care what's in front of me because everything right now seems equally worthless to me.
Yeah.
Like I sit there, like I have a burst fire blaster, and I put 3 rounds right in your dome, and you just kind of go, haha, shoot me twice, and I'm dead. How does that math work? I don't. Like unless you're like Han Solo, I get that. Fine, sure.
And, like, compare that with something like Destiny, where you have a large array of weapons, some of which are stronger than others, or like shoot differently or anything like that. That's kind of what I expect out of Destiny, where you get two-shotted by a dude and you're like, oh, well, oh, yeah, of course he's using that thing. Like, man, that was a great shot.
Yeah,
They're all using blasters.
yeah. The technology is pretty universal. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like he's got like the slag element on it or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's using a poison blaster. Ugh.
All right,
You
that
got
makes,
me.
oh, okay, all right. You know,
Yeah.
your cryo ray.
Is that's your the like maximum salt level for knobs? It's just like, oh yeah, great.
Yeah. So, so anyway, so surprisingly, I'm still playing more Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Okay.
I am actually rolling another character now. I'm doing Claptrap or
Nice.
Frag Trap.
His special skill is hilarious.
It's literally the biggest dice roll I've ever seen in a shooter in my life.
Yep.
Like, so far the ones I can remember are you have the dual wield that continually fires until you are out of bullets.
Yeah, it's a lot like the guy from the Gunzerker from
Salvatore.
2. Yeah, Salvatore. It's
Yeah.
a lot like his, but it just dumps. Like it's
Oh yeah,
just
like with
nonstop.
Salvatore, you can actually pull the triggers and you actually have control over how many bullets are going. This is just nonstop. The thing, like I always like, if I get that one, I hit the start menu. I'm like, all right, I have a Tadori weapon in here because it's the only weapon to survive anything.
Yeah.
Because then he just starts chucking grenades with both guns, like one shot, boom, one shot, boom, one shot, boom. That one. Then you got that melee skill where he pulls out this giant sword and just starts hacking at stuff.
Yeah, that one's great.
Then you have the little beatbox guy, the little angel that flies out.
Yep.
It's a little mini claptrap.
It's doing dubstep.
Yeah, it's like whoop whoop da, and it's
Yeah.
setting everything on fire.
Oh,
and you're
that
just
one's good.
What is this thing? But my favorite, man, the most useful one is the one shot. All right.
I don't remember that one.
Okay, so I really didn't get what it was until I fired it a few times. What it is however many bullets are in your magazine get fired at one shot.
Oh, it's just like so this big mass of bullets.
No, it's like literally like if you shoot it and it's like one bullet, but it's all bullets that are in the
Oh,
magazine.
whew.
So if you have like an assault rifle, it's got 92 bullets. All 92 bullets will hit whatever you just shot at.
Wow.
It's it
The
has
boss
saved me
killer.
from so many bosses. It is amazing.
That's
I
crazy.
wish I could get that thing to come up every time because it would
I,
make his.
and I think the crazy thing about that skill too is the more you level up, the more is unlocked, and I think you can unlock more in some of your skill trees too. Like there's one that turns you into a pirate ship.
Yeah.
It's just like this is, and you don't have to breathe oxygen, which is amazing in that game.
Oh, and the other funny thing with it is when you're selecting Frag Trap, it gives you 3 prompts to change your mind.
Yes, where it's like no,
No,
no. Do you really? It's claptrap. Like
it's
do
like
you
okay.
really?
Oh yeah, it's like all right. Are you sure you want to play it? You know Claptrap, and then it
Yeah,
goes. Are you really, really, really sure you want to do this? He will not stop talking the whole time.
yeah.
And then like this is your last chance. You're stuck with it from now on.
I, I was worried that some of that humor of like claptrap is the worst would wear off after Borderlands 2, but I feel like they push it just far enough where it's like, hey, remember, everybody hates this guy. If you want to play as him, that's great, but he sucks. So don't forget, he's the
Well,
worst.
I never got that sense more in any other game about the character's interaction with Claptrap is just the worst in this game. Like they
Yeah.
just
Everybody's rolling their eyes.
oh yeah, and especially like so I got to the one where I got to the mission on Helios where I had to use a Claptrap to unlock the door, and instead of Jack saying I'm so sorry about this, he's like, "Oh yeah, remember when I made you like the frag trap? So I took out all your door opening capability, so you gotta go get a Claptrap. Enjoy." Like,
That's great.
and then the interaction between the two of them are just like, whoa, it's great.
Yeah, I like that they're talking shop.
Yeah, they're talking shit about opening doors and stuff, but I love the pre-sequel.
Coach Jamal in chat says, "What's a good entry point to get in the Borderlands series? Just play them as they came out?" Question mark.
Borderlands is going to be a tough one to play through,
Yeah, it's good.
but
I don't know.
I would go with Handsome Jack and start with 2
Yeah,
and go right through 2 and the pre-sequel. Or if you want to play them chronologically, you play the pre-sequel. No, because it does way too many references to everything else in
yeah.
this
I
world.
would almost say like if you have a ton of time, I would play 1, 2, and then pre-sequel. If you don't have a ton of time, I would just play 2 and pre-sequel. For 2, you can probably find like a search on YouTube, find like a story recap and like a character recap of the first one. Each character doesn't have that much story, but as long as you know that they're from Borderlands 1 when you go into 2, you should be fine.
Well, I don't know because there's a lot of great references from the NPC characters in pre-sequel.
That's true.
Like, and that's oh man.
1 is not bad, but I feel like you can go through. You can probably pretty quickly go through the main story of 1, and you probably read a wiki entry for the DLC
No,
because
I
some of
take it
those
back.
are long.
You should play them all. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
If
you
you
don't
can.
you wouldn't have to go through 1 and do the Vault Hunter stuff and try and get like optimum loot
Right.
in 1. Like, you just plow through 1 and just call it a day. Then get into 2 because 2 has way more characters in it that are the world feels more alive.
And the
And
DLC is better.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the best character of Borderlands is Pandora itself. Like,
Yeah.
and that's where all that stuff comes in from Borderlands 1. And I strongly recommend Tales from Borderlands 2, but to really enjoy Borderlands or Tales from the Borderlands, you really need to play 1 and 2,
Yeah.
especially 2.
Yeah, NYC Badger in chat recommended play Tales from Borderlands. Absolutely. I agree with you. Don't play it until after you've played 1 and 2 because it takes place after the events of 2, and a lot of the game won't make sense. It's not even like, oh, look, it's that guy back. It's a lot of like, I don't know who this dude is or why he's important at all.
Yeah, and plus you really won't understand like how great a character Handsome Jack really is.
Yeah.
Like just the best, well, probably one of my favorite characters in video games.
And definitely one of the best villains.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
equally a pretty good protagonist in pre-sequel.
does Borderlands 1 and 2 have difficulty selections? I don't even remember.
I don't think one does, because I think it just goes like you have your regular Vault Hunter, which is just your basic normal shooter. Like you really can't get in too much trouble unless you're
Yeah.
unless you end up somewhere where you're really not supposed to be.
Well, and I feel like in 1, I guess, and in 2, it's so dependent on your level, and if you do all the side quests and everything as they come up, you're way over leveled by
Yes.
like hour 5.
Yeah, by hour 5 you will outpace that game,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
everything is great, and a lot of the side missions are really good.
Yeah.
So I recommend them all. To be honest
Yeah, I
with
would just 1 is still good, I think. And I almost wonder if playing through 1 makes 2 better, because immediately when you start 2, you're like, "Oh, this is yes, great. All right, this is all way better and everything is much more interesting."
Well, yeah, and it also gives you like, all right, so these guys, other than these guys just being the Vault Hunters from before.
And if you play the first one, I would play as what's the commando's name?
Oh, Roland.
Roland. Play as Roland. He's way overpowered in the
Oh,
first
yeah.
game.
His
He's probably
turret,
the easiest one to play.
yeah, his turret just it's literally you're dropping everything dead like just by deploying your turret.
And it's healing you and giving you ammo if you stand anywhere close to it.
Yes, and
Boy,
it's
great character.
yeah, that thing's great.
Yeah.
And the upgrade like Axton, like I played through Axton and in Borderlands 2, which is the soldier version of him before. Lilith is really good in the first game.
Yep.
Is it Lilith? Yeah, Lilith.
Yeah, because it's Maya in the second one.
Yes.
Maya's really good in 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her void was it Void Walk or whatever they called it.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And then everything. I mean, Brick is probably the hardest character, and so is Mordecai. Mordecai is really difficult to use because it's like they want you to focus on certain gun types
Yeah.
with those characters, which was a great plan in theory, but it doesn't matter because it's Borderlands, because you have all these guns to choose from.
It's the same thing as Zero, where it's like, okay, you need to either use melee or sniper rifles. And it's like, I don't want to do either one of those.
Well, the problem with sniping in Borderlands is once you hit something, everyone knows where you are.
Yeah, nobody's really like taking cover and taking pot shots.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing with multiple people.
Then it's great. Then you play your class, and then that's I think that's where Borderlands shines more so with more people in it. Is you got your melee guys in there mixing up, you got your sniper dude just sitting in the back just picking people off left and right, and everyone's getting XP.
Yep.
It is the best thing in the world.
Yeah, if anybody's looking to play Borderlands and you can find at least it's a great game to play by yourself, make no mistake. But if you can find at least one other person to play through, like my wife and I play Borderlands all the time, and it's so much fun. Just because it makes the game a little bit harder. Like it says it makes the game a little bit harder, but it's way easier with people. You can get the other person back up. You can, I mean, there's so much. You can, by the time we get into an interesting tree for both of our characters, and this is the part that I love playing 2-player with Borderlands, is you can make a lot of characters' skill trees complementary to the other person, where it's like, okay, so I'm going to do this one where you're trapping this person up in the air. All right, so I've got this skill where if I can shoot somebody who's trapped in that, I'm going to heal us both a little bit. And it's like we can start building complementary trees like that, and it's great.
And you're almost unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like, and the most frustrating thing is when you're playing Borderlands by yourself is when you're fighting for your life and you have one enemy and he hides behind a box and you're like,
right. Or it's like a badass and you're like hitting him for 2 damage and it's like a tickle.
But anyway, the pre-sequel is still great. Like, just so to give it a testament to this, like I have no one to play this game with. and I'm on my third playthrough.
Yeah. That's a pretty good sign.
And I'm pretty sure that I might roll a third character because I really want to play Wilhelm because originally when I started was I picked Wilhelm to his closest to the soldier style character.
Yeah.
Where he has one like he's got two like fly drone things. One of them's attacking stuff, and the other one just floating around you, healing you.
And that's the one I picked on my second playthrough because I was having fun with Claptrap, but I felt like Claptrap in a multiplayer setting
Would be better.
No, it's way too it's way too random because sometimes your super affects your teammate too, like that we're just dumping bullets all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody gets that. So like my wife is sitting there, she's like, "Why can't I stop firing?" It's like, "I'm so sorry." Like, and we're just like both of us are just shooting in the air. Wilhelm is really fun. It seems like his trees are really interesting because even if you're playing by yourself, you have these two drones and the one that attacks can do a pretty good amount of damage.
Oh yeah, and it's just you can sit there while he's off attacking stuff, just go and rake up all the ammo you can. Like, and that was the best thing what I had with when I was playing as a doppelganger Jack was I got two Jacks out there lighting up everything. I'm just going around just picking open crates, picking up ammo, just letting these guys kill everything in the room.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a moonstone.
I was like, all right, boys, what'd you do?
Yeah.
Like,
good job, buddies.
So I really think the best way to play through that is the doppelganger. He is just the best. So I'm like I said, like I'm probably about halfway through with Claptrap right now. I'll probably no, because I'll be out of town next week. Dang it. Oh well. So I'll wrap that third playthrough up sooner or later, and maybe start a fourth because I just love playing Borderlands.
Yeah.
And this third playthrough, everything's dropping legendaries, and it's driving me nuts.
Man.
Oh. And I can't get it on my good character. I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen a single orange outside of anything that I've earned.
Right.
With Jack, but yet I'm with Claptrap and I have 4. I'm like, and they're all
not
dumb
like
things
this.
like grenades and Oz and not a shield, and like another like class mod. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh
man.
So still rolling my way through that. So last night when we were playing Battlefront, it kind of had my rage quit, and we realized we could play Peggle, and we ended up playing Peggle till 2:00 in the morning.
You know, sometimes that Peggle just sinks its fangs into you.
The amount of crap talking that happens in Peggle is amazing.
It's directly proportional to how cute that game is.
I love that game.
I feel like because of how cute it is and how happy it is, you really have to talk mess.
Oh, it is nonstop. We played a lot of Peggle.
Yeah. God, that game is so good.
It is. It's great, and now you can play it on your Xbox One.
Oh right, because it's backwards compatible.
Yep.
I should download that.
Yeah, so it's all good fun again. But anyway, so I don't know if you guys, when we started live streaming here, I had to go downstairs and grab something.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to write this note down because this was the hardest game of Free Cell I have ever played. It is game number, so anyone else can enjoy this one. It is game number 7559944.
7559944.
Yes.
Wow.
I play a lot of Free Cell.
Yeah.
Like while I'm watching something on TV. This game took me an hour and 45 minutes to figure out.
What?
An hour and 45, because I won't quit. I have to beat it because that game, like when I first started playing Free Cell years ago, like in college. What do you mean every game's theoretically winnable? Like that can't be true. And I'd sit there and would go through it and I'm like, all right.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And then the more you play, like it's like okay, like all right, so I get the hang of it. Like so far, my fastest clear time is 1:19.
Oh shit! Wow,
that's the fastest I've ever cleared a Free Cell board. a minute 19.
Wow.
So this taking me 1 hour and 45 minutes. Like I'm not a rookie at playing this game. Like
Yeah.
any stretch of the imagination. I love Freecell though. Yeah. But this one was just like everyone I would keep painting myself in the corners like I don't see it. Like I gotta get to these fours so I can move this over here. And then I can't get to these aces because they're buried under these back to back nines. I'm like, all right, so like I
You're a
would literally,
beautiful minding it.
I would go up, brick everything up, and I'm like, all right, that didn't work. Just bring everything back down. Like, okay, bring everything back down for an hour, almost 2 hours of my time.
It's one of
I
those ones where you see it and you're like, I can do this. I just have to figure out how.
oh yeah, like I'm not letting this solitaire game beat me at this point. Like I
Yeah.
just, oh man, that was intense. Like I literally just finished it. So it actually, I had to charge my tablet twice because for some reason free cell on my Surface it takes up more battery power than anything else I use that thing for.
You're just live streaming off of it. It doesn't really care, but free cell.
Dude,
Whew.
free cell, just you could just watch the gas gauge go down. Like
Yeah.
it's
Crazy.
so that's what I've been playing this week.
Wow. I decided to play more Punch Club. I played a little bit. I think I talked about it last week. I played a little bit on my phone. That's not really. It's just it's too small on my phone, so I'm tapping with my thumbs, and it's not really working. So I decided to play the PC version more. I think I played about 2 more hours. I still really like it, and there's a lot of really weird stuff in that game, and some of the references are a little too obvious. Like there's a Fight Club reference that might have used a little bit of obfuscation around it. The only thing that's kind of driving me crazy right now, it seems like there's ways around it as you go through the game, is the game really beats in your head. You have three primary stats, strength, agility, and endurance. And the game says really early on, maybe after the first hour, it basically says, hey, focus on one. You cannot raise all three of them at the same time. So what do you want to focus on? And I think it tells you like 2 or 3 times right away. But the frustrating part about it is I naturally want to because it gives me 3 bars. But the way that they it's not really a punishment, but it's just the way that the game works is you lose stats every day. So let's say you
have to keep playing.
You have to keep playing, but like it forces you to focus on one because let's say you go through an entire day and you get to the end of the day and it shows you like the end of day screen. You're going to lose like 20 points off of each stat every day. But if you go to the gym and you go and work out, and let's say you raise up your strength, and you spend maybe, let's say, half of the in-game daytime raising up the strength stat, you're going to raise it up by like 150. And then at the end of the day, you lose 20. So you're way up. And then that gives you a little bit of time to kind of continue to raise it up. But I guess I haven't figured out how to game the system yet, because let's say you raise up your strength. In a fight, you're going to do way more damage every time you hit, but every time you throw a punch, you're going to take way more energy out of your energy bar. So but you want to the way to sort of mitigate that is by raising up your endurance. But you kind of can't because you have all 3 of these skills. So I'm kind of trying to figure out where to put my skills and where to focus to get the best bang for my buck. There are skills in your skill tree where you can spend points to say they're all in this one column where if you spend points, each one of your skills won't go down below 4. So you kind of work them all up to 4, you buy these skills, and then they're kind of locked at 4. They won't go all the way down to 1. So it seems like that's kind of the way to do it is get enough of these skills to get up to that point, you can kind of lock them here, keep raising the skill you want to focus on, but you kind of have this minimum for the other skills.
Right.
So it's still really good, and it's still really fun to play. I kind of fired it up. I was sitting on the couch, and I really like on my Mac laptop. I really like. For some reason, they did Steam Cloud, but it's not cross-platform, which is odd because most people do that by default. So all I do is the in-house streaming. So I'm streaming to my Mac from my Windows PC up here, and man, that works really well. So I'm kind of just sitting on the couch, and like 2 or 3 hours went by, and I was like, oh, crap, I had chores to do. Well, okay. So it's still kind of that game where it's the same thing that management sims do really well, where it's like, oh, all right, I just lost a bunch of time. The next game I lost a bunch of time too, but now I'm done for now, is Diablo 3. I platinumed it on PS4. So, man, that new patch they came out with is nuts. So, like, with patch 2.3, I think it was, they came out with basically the Horadric Cube from Diablo 2. That's great. And patch 2.4 they came out with 3 whole new areas. They came out with a bunch of new skills, more legendary items. They have new dungeons now for a complete set of armor for each character. Like, each set of armor for each character has its own dungeon. And it's not randomly...
So they totally went Disgaea on it.
Basically, yeah. But what's cool is I haven't done any of these, but when you go into one of those dungeons, it has like 3 challenges and then 2 optional challenges. And the dungeon is not randomly generated, so it's very specifically made for that set of armor and the bonuses it sort of transfers onto your character. So that's all kind of cool stuff, and it's, we were talking about carrots and sticks earlier with Battlefield 4. That just feels like another carrot and stick for a game that
didn't need it.
Yeah, but like not in a negative way, but like there's already enough fun stuff where they add something else in here. It's like, I mean, cool. Like, how am I going to hold another $1 million? Cool. I can't hold these $5 million I already have in my hands. Like it's that sort of embarrassment of riches where it's sort of like, all right, Diablo 3 is already great as it stands right now, and for free on PC and the console version, they just keep adding more fun stuff. So, if you haven't played Diablo 3, pick up Diablo 3 and play it. It's not the Diablo 3 that came out originally. It's not even the Diablo 3 when Reaper of Souls came out. It's even better than that stuff. So, if you like loot games, that's kind of one of the best ones.
Play Borderlands.
Play them both. You got time. There's space enough in the world for 2 really great loot-driven games. My wife and I have been playing through Oxenfree on the Xbox One. This game seems really good. I need to keep talking about Oxenfree because I'm worried it's already been forgotten. And it's basically a horror point-and-click adventure game. The stuff that happened... Technical difficulties?
No, I just, like, with this camera, like, I don't feel like I can sit in a relaxed position without being, like down.
You just
here.
Go off the screen. Some of the stuff that happens in the first hour of that game is crazy, and then the things that it shows you, it's one of those things where I wouldn't say it's outright scary like something like Dead Space. Where Dead Space, like, you go into a room and you're like, oh, the worst thing is going to happen in this room. Like, I know I'm going to push this button and those corpses behind me are not dead. Oh, or like something's going to come through the vents. This game isn't scary like that, but it's almost like
more cerebral.
Yeah, and almost like a thriller where it's kind of like, oh man, there's only one thing to interact with this within this room. I know I have to pull out my radio and tune it, and something is going to happen. Boo, that was spooky. You know, where it's like, it gives you a little bit of chills for a couple seconds. You're like, whoa, okay. All right, that was weird. Man, I can
like
leave
watching
now.
magic.
Yeah. Oh, how'd you do that? So I think we've been playing for about an hour and a half, and the Xbox One dashboard says we're about 26% of the way through. So that seems pretty good, because I think this is... I know this game... Most people are saying they're knocking this game out in about 5 hours. But what I think is really interesting is there's so many different dialogue choices, and there's so many... Like, as soon as you get through the first hour, it gives you two choices. Where, like, are you going to save this person in this direction on the island, or are you going to go save this person? And apparently, one of the secret achievements is to go throughout the whole game without saying anything. So the dialogue tree system in this game is weird. It's the polar opposite of Life is Strange, where Life is Strange, you had time. Like, it's giving you see those options, and you have all the time in the world.
So it's more like a Telltale, where like you have to do something.
But what's kind of weird is how they display it, where other characters are just talking to each other, and you get 3 options on screen, and it kind of, like Telltale, it corresponds to buttons on the controller. But as you're coming closer to the time running out, the speech bubbles fade. And your option, like Telltale games, you can just say nothing. And sometimes if you say that, the characters in the game are like, cool, I was talking to you, but I guess you don't have anything to say to me. That's
Clearly you have better things to think about.
Yeah, like if you want to be a jerk. So I'm kind of happy it's short, because you don't really want a long horror game, but I'd kind of like to play through it multiple times to see, all right, if I go through and I pick this choice, how does the story turn out? And if I go through and I don't say anything, what is that? Like, how weird is that game? So that's kind of a positive. And also, I got the Life is Strange limited edition, and I think my wife and I are going to go play through it after we do Oxenfree. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So I kind of want to knock out Oxenfree so I can. I'm interested to see what she thinks of Life is Strange, and like you with Liz.
Oh my gosh!
You claw me, dog. Go. I'm kind of curious to see what choices she makes in her story. Because, like, I already have my story. Like, that's set in stone, but...
No, it was definitely academically interesting to see how that happens.
Yeah. And I'm kind of curious to play through, because I think how we've said it is I'll have the controller and she makes the decisions, which is good, because I know where to find all of the bottles.
Exactly.
You know, like, I don't have to sit there for an hour and a half and be like, I need one more bottle. Where's this bottle? Like, what is happening? Coaster Mall in a chat says Life is Strange limited edition. So it's super cool. It's a larger box, and it comes with the game on disc, and it has the director's commentary on it, which apparently is coming to the downloadable version very soon. So if you already have the downloadable version, apparently they're just going to patch the director's commentary in, which I might have to play through it again to hear that. That sounds awesome. The Alan Wake director's commentary was amazing. It comes with an art book, which is basically Max's journal in the game, but without the text on top of it. So it's like all of her scribbles and drawings and like all of her pasted pictures and stuff. Super cool. And that's hardcover. And it comes with a soundtrack, which, number one, they got all of the songs from the game. It's like a 26-track soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah, and like all the licensed ones too. But also on the front, it has remember that mixtape that they made in the game where it has the drawing of them as pirates on the front? That's the cover for it, for the CD. And I was like, oh, that's so perfect. So, and it was like $40. That's a great price. So now I have Life is Strange on disc, which is kind of all I wanted. So, yeah, I can now that I have it in my hands, I can really recommend. If you're interested in Life is Strange, you can probably get the downloadable version for really cheap. If you like cool boxes and you're really interested in Life is Strange, the limited edition is pretty cool.
All right, this has got to stop.
Get away, dog. But last but not least, I finally started to sink my teeth in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And while I'm playing, I put some notes on my phone here because I have so many thoughts about this game that I wanted to write it down. So I just finished the mission where I'm still really early in. I just finished the mission where you get the grappling hook.
Yes.
So, you meet Alexander Graham Bell and you're doing all his stuff. And I feel like I had a lot of problems with Unity. And one of my problems was kind of how Assassin's Creed hadn't yet figured out how to make its characters move. And Unity was a pretty good next step because it had if you're holding R2 and you're holding X, you climb up, and if you're holding circle, you climb down. I feel like they finally figured out how to make that work in Syndicate, where you just aim your character at something, you hold R2 and X, and you just scramble up it. And there's no real problems. And with them having the climb down button, it stops that thing where you walk up to an edge and you're like, I should be safe, and you just plummet to your death.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't done that in this game yet, and that's so cool.
Except when you want to jump down that little bit, there's like looking over like a little hedgerow of like, hey.
Yeah, and you're like, I want to go, no, I need to hold circle, not X, or vice versa. And I think to sort of complementing that, I've been doing almost all of the optional objectives in this game so far because they actually make sense. Where it's like you go and you do a Templar hunt and it says, okay, you just need to air assassinate this guy. It's like, great. And it, unlike a lot of the other Assassin's Creed games where you're like following them through somewhere really early in the game. I know I'll run into some following mission later, but you're following through with them and it's like, suddenly you need to air assassinate. And it's like, I don't even know where to go. Like, where am I? And then you fail the whole mission because you're looking for somewhere to get up to somewhere and they see you. I feel like this is one of, like, going back to Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and Brotherhood, I feel like my character is doing what I'm asking them to do. As opposed to like playing 3 and some parts of Black Flag and definitely Unity where it's like, just get up there. No, I need you to, I need to air assassinate. And it's like, why can't I air assassinate from up here? Oh, I just jumped down? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, now I'm in the middle and you just gotta like, ching, 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 ching. Hopefully I didn't fail.
Yeah. And the combat engine, they finally revamped it, and it actually feels pretty good. Like, I've been going through some of that Fight Club stuff, and I feel like this game, a lot of people would compare it to the Batman Arkham series. There's a lot of stuff that feels like it, like the fighting system does, the grappling does, but it's all kind of a little bit different, and I think the stuff that it does differently is pretty interesting. Like, the grappling hook, I feel like they needed to give you a little bit more reinforcement really early on, where it's like, look, if you want to go from building to building, you have to be on the ledge. Like, you need to be at the point where Sonic would start doing that pinwheeling motion in like Sonic 2 and 3. Like, that's where you need to stand. And I almost wish they would have popped up on screen when you first got that thing. Like, hey man, this isn't the bat hook. Like, you can't be 50 feet away from a building and just poof and just go right up. Like, you need to be next to a building and you're going to kind of go straight up. And I feel like that would have made it, because you want to you want to have it be like the bat hook, yeah. Yeah, like where you're 2 blocks away and you're just flying across these buildings just to
Oh
like
yeah,
launch yourself.
it's like you hit right bumper, you're like zoom, and you're like, wow, that is not the building I thought that was gonna go to, but okay.
Yeah, and you're like 200 stories up. Like, yeah, so I feel like as much as Unity did to kind of sour me on Assassin's Creed, not nearly as bad as AC3 did, to be clear. I feel like Syndicate, they took a step back and they said, all right, let's fix this stuff. Let's clean up this stuff. Let's take these systems we've been playing around with for a couple games ever since 3. Let's kind of polish them and put them all together to a point where they make sense.
Right.
And I feel like that's Syndicate, where it's like, I'm playing it and I'm telling my wife, like, holy crap, I'm having fun playing an Assassin's Creed game again. Like, this is, I'm sitting there and being like, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go play an Assassin's Creed game. Like, and I'm excited about that, and that's crazy.
Have you met the villain yet?
Not that I know of.
Oh.
So
you would know who I'm talking about if you had met him.
yeah, I feel like I'm probably like right at. So here's the thing that happens to me with Assassin's Creed every time, where they unleash you in the open world, and I'm like, cool, let's round up all these viewpoints. Let's do it. Next 3 hours, that's all we're doing. We're swimming the Thames, getting all these guys, we're hopping on boats. After I'd done all of that, I'm like, cool, back to the story. So that's kind of what I did for like the last day or two, was sort of like, let's get as many Helix symbols as we can, open some chests, let's do some stuff.
Well, and that's the funny thing about like this game, because at that point, like, I didn't want to do any of that in Black Flag. Like, I could care less. Like, it's great, there's a Helix here, whatever.
Well, it was on like an island in the middle of nowhere where it's like, okay, what do I get for any of this stuff? Like, I don't really. But the thing that's interesting, and now I understand your frustration with the experience system and the leveling system, is the thing that drives me crazy is I wish there was a term for it, because it's not really a leveling system. So for anybody that hasn't played Syndicate, you gain experience for doing stuff in the world. And you basically, like, you get 20 experience because I stealthily killed an enemy, or I get 50 experience because I killed 3 enemies. I finished 3 enemies at a time, stuff like that. There are also these challenges you're kind of always doing, where it's like, all right, you need to, after you stealthily kill 50 enemies, you'll get like 100 experience.
Right.
Sort of on top of all that. You'll probably get a little bit of money too. So you're kind of always doing this stuff, and every time you quote unquote level up, you get it seems like 1,000 experience.
It's like skill points.
Yeah, you get a skill point, and for every X number of skill points that you put in either character's skill trees, that character levels up. So like, I'm level 3 right now, and I need 7 more points. I need 7 more skill points to get to level 4.
Yes.
But you don't get levels for your experience, which it took me a little bit of time to figure out, and then it unfortunately forced me to switch from Evie to Jacob, which Jacob is the worst. And he's level 1, because I'm going to fight these guys, and it's like, wait, what is... You have to go spend the points you've already earned in history.
Because it's not the same skill tree. Like, she has her own set, and like at the end, like, there's different the ones at the bottom will say like only this one, but this one's only for Jacob, and this one's only for Evie.
Which is interesting, because
I recommend the Templar vision all the way up to the point where you can see through walls.
That's the next one I'm gonna buy, because that one seems super cool.
Oh, it is the most helpful thing in the world.
Yeah.
You're like, I hear a chest. Where is it? Like,
right. I think the thing they did with this game, where Evie is your stealthy one and Jacob is like your fighting one, I think is pretty cool. I have way more fun being a ninja with Evie though, because like, and I really like that animation where like you hit the X button and she just puts her hood up and she just hunkers down a little bit, and you're doing that like Solid Snake sneaky thing.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, the thing I liked about Jacob, and the thing that, because I primarily use Jacob, is the weapon. I used nothing but brass knuckles that whole game.
Oh, really?
Like, it had such a satisfying, like, like hit like punching chickens noise, like
Right.
just little dum dum
That
dum.
smacking noise.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
And I'm kind of surprised. So they had this in Unity where you had all this gear and you had all this stuff you could upgrade and you could all this stuff. I never really cared, but
Oh, her
with an
canes are amazing.
and that's the thing that's interesting is like there's three types of weapons for your primary weapon. There's a like a blade, the kikuri or
Yeah, the little
kukri or
like
something. It's like a curved blade. There's canes with swords in them, which yeah, that I want
yeah
to use those. And there's just flat out brass knuckles. Each one of those you can equip an item and then you can kind of upgrade it once, and it seems like some of the later ones you can upgrade a little bit more to kind of boost your damage a little bit. But for Evie, like she can put that cape she has on can also increase her stealth.
yeah
And for Jacob, some of his stuff will increase the amount of damage he's doing or the amount of health that they have or stuff like that. And you're actually, there's a whole crafting system in there with all this stuff. And it finally feels like not only one, does it look really cool, but two, it finally feels like the stuff that you're crafting isn't just, okay, cool, I want to dress up as Edward Kenway because that one's kind of cool, but it infers a lot of these bonuses where it's like, okay, you can carry all this new stuff, or you have a lot more health, or it's 15% harder to detect you. That's cool. Like, that's all the stuff that I want to see.
Well, yeah, other than just it's an upgrade in the skin, like everything has its own little bit of attributes that actually helps you. And I actually probably change clothes more in this one than any other one, other than
Yeah.
it just looked cool.
And in Unity, I went into the crafting and, like, upgrade thing, and I went and I looked, and I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if I'm green or blue or red. Like, I don't care what my clothes look like. But in this one, you can pick another outfit, and it'll have all this stuff with it. And it'll probably require a rare material that you're going to get out of a golden chest, which you're going to because it's a golden chest.
Yes.
And why would you not open that? You know, like, it all finally feels interconnected, but not in this way where in Unity, all right, you can only open this chest if you've synced your Uplay account with the mobile app, and are you a member of the AC Initiates? Like, there's none of that in this game. If you sign up for AC Initiates, which I have because I like seeing the snapshot of everything I've done across the entire franchise because I've played almost all of these games. I think that's kind of cool. It gives you like more of those Helix credits in game, which don't really do anything. You can pay for some credits to turn into like crafting material. You just play the game and you get that stuff. So it doesn't have like that. The word I want to use is sleazy, but it's not. It's just like that microtransactions where you look at it and you're like,
But
that
you,
doesn't
but
feel
you,
good.
but it's earned income though. That's the part
Right.
that it doesn't make it seem as sleazy as it could be. You
Yeah,
can
'cause-
buy more, that's sleazy, but
yeah.
you actually have like this accrued amount of them already because you've played previous games.
Yeah, and because in Unity, when you were playing it, you kept running into this stuff where it's like, oh, it's a red chest. What are you going to do? You want to open the store? And it's like, ugh. Really? Like, that's... Welcome to the EA store, Traveler. Like, that's what it felt like, where it's... You want to do some crafting, and here comes up the Xbox Live interface. You know, just... So, I don't know. And I kind of like that... And I know this sounds dumb, and I almost don't want to say it out loud. I really like when I can get outfits and stuff from Uplay points because I've played other Ubisoft games and oh, that makes me feel kind of dirty. But like, I like that, and I know why they're doing it, but I can go into the Assassin's Creed Initiates interface and they've said, congratulations, you're level 9 because for some reason you've played and finished every other Assassin's Creed game. All right, you get some cool outfits, you get a bunch of money at the beginning, you know, you get all this cool stuff. Do you want to listen to the Assassin's Creed 4 soundtrack in Syndicate? You can do that too. You know, like, there's some of that cool stuff of which I won't use, but it feels a little bit like Ratchet and Clank for the PS2, where it's like, hey, I see you back again. You played the last one. Here's some extra money, and like, here, gave you some pieces for this cool new gun a little bit early. You know, it feels a little bit like...
You earned it.
I'm a sucker for loyalty bonuses.
Yes.
Basically, you know, like... and
Give me my Best Buy points. Come on.
yeah, exactly. And the last thing I have to say is the soundtrack is really good. I feel like this is one of those Assassin's Creed games where
They nailed the period. They absolutely nailed it.
they did, and like the last Assassin's Creed soundtrack I really remember, except for like the shanties in 4,
The
because
shanties were so good, though.
those were so good, is like Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed 2, because those soundtracks were really good and not in your face. But there's so much stuff in this game, especially when you get on top of, like, you're on top of Big Ben, and the game takes the advantage to, like, bring in some of the score a little bit louder. Like, yeah, this is cool as hell, isn't it? It's like, yeah, I'm a ninja. You know, like, it reinforces that cool stuff, but when you're just wandering around the city, it's not like John Williams isn't chasing you in a buggy. You know, it's not like, it's not this oppressive sort of thing.
What a great mod would that be? Hey, you stop, you turn, you rotate the camera around. There's like a whole orchestra on a giant like double-decker buggy,
just playing
and
Binary
they all
Sunset.
like stop when you see it. Like, did
Yeah, it's like, oh,
and then you pull my camera and they start playing again. Like, did
yeah. I think the thing that is kind of striking me about it is, one, I want to play an Assassin's Creed game. And it's been a little bit, even Black Flag, I was sort of pulling myself along after like the 75% of the way through that game. But two, you and I just spent, what, 10, 15 minutes talking about an Assassin's Creed game where it wasn't like, God, this thing sucks. Here's another thing that sucks.
you don't? Here's the like. That's the other funny thing. It's like we just did the same thing to Borderlands. Like,
Yeah. It's really...
and that one, like, I was really like, you remember me starting playing that game was not good.
No.
And I have pulled like a complete 180 on how I feel about that game.
Yeah. And I love the Assassin's Creed series so much. And when those games are bad, it's just like a stab in the heart. Because they're so bad. It's not like...
Well, because they have, and we've experienced the potential of them being good.
Yeah, like we've played Brotherhood and we've played AC2.
And that's where you sit there thinking, you're like, you know what to do. What are you doing?
Like, you play AC3 and you're just like, this is all wrong. And you play Black Flag and you're like, this is getting better, but it's still, there's some soul missing. And which was the worst part about Unity, was it's an Assassin's Creed game, but it's kind of like paint by numbers.
Yeah.
Where there's no real soul here. When you play Syndicate, it at least feels like the team cared.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they loved Assassin's Creed and they want to make this one as good as possible. And I'll be damned if it isn't fun. You know, like, and I'm here to tell you guys, if you like Assassin's Creed, Syndicate so far seems pretty great, and Knobs really loved it. It was on your top 10 last year, right?
Yes, it was.
So it's good to love a game like that again.
Yeah, and even that, like I said, me starting playing that game, I was having no fun.
Yeah, it has a rough beginning, but I could pull myself through the beginning of that game because I knew that the deeper you get into the game, the more and more it opens up, and the better and better it gets.
Well, the thing that really like set this one apart more than anything else was I don't know, it didn't trick you, but it actually gave you not even so much an emotional tie, but you really cared about what was happening because Evie was such a compelling character.
Yeah,
and
she's
even though
cool.
Jacob is just pretty much assassin dude.
Yeah, but he's a hothead and he's a really great foil for Evie because Evie's very much this measured, calculated, like, hold on, let's try and figure out what's going on. And Jacob's like, I just want to punch dudes. Do you want to punch dudes? Like,
how do you not want to punch these guys in the face? Let's go.
Right, they're Templars. Let's punch the hell out of them.
Come on, let's make a gang. Let's do this.
And Evie's like, can we find the piece of Eden? And Jacob's like, hey, I have a gang to start.
Dude, we'll call them the Rooks. Like, what?
And Evie's like, I don't... So that's what's interesting is, like...
The whole brother-sister pull was really apparent in this whole game. It was just great.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm a total nerd for codex in games. There are a lot of ties in these codex back to Assassin's Creed 2 that are super cool, like stuff that happened before Ezio was born. Some of that stuff is awesome.
No, out of all of them, it's felt like this tied a lot of the whole overarching Assassin's world together too.
Yeah.
And there's even more. Like I can't wait till you get to the stuff about what's his name, the pirate,
Oh, Edward.
Kenway.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Kenway stuff and where his arc went and landed. Like it was just
And I'm starting sequence 4 right now, which was basically like, well, Jacob wants to go do this thing, and Evie wants to go hunt down Edward Kenway's legacy. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, yes, I want to do that because I want a new friggin' Black Flag game. The game was good. Like, make another one and make it even better.
it's all right, pirate stash.
Oh, it's so good. So yeah, let's take a break so I can go play some Assassin's Creed after this. We'll be back.
All right.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it surprised me. It really
Yeah.
did. At every turn, it just kept like it kept taking. It was a good momentum. Like it just kind of took one step and another step and another step. I'm like, oh, all right,
Yeah, where you're sort of like,
let's.
it gives you something new, and you're like, oh, and I didn't even mention those music boxes in the game.
Have you found the music box tomb yet?
Yes, I did, and I found like 6 of the music boxes so far. And right before we recorded, I was going through that menu, and I noticed there was a full screen button, and it shows you exactly where it is in the world.
Yeah,
But like, it shows you where it is, and it shows you like a thing in the background where you're like, oh my god, I've seen that before. Where is that in the city? Oh, this is gonna be the death of me because I have to unlock that. I need to know
well,
what's in there.
I had to stop myself because I did the dumb thing. I paid for some maps
Ouch.
and none of the music box stuff was in it.
I know. I can't even like spend Helix points to look at the music box maps. I'm gonna spend money for all of those maps, like in-game money for all those maps.
Yep, and I did.
Yeah.
I bought all those maps in game, and none of them had all the music box locations, which drove me insane.
I'm gonna find them.
Cause like there was times like I'd be in mission, I was like, I hear a box.
And that's the
Like,
worst part where you're like, oh no, wait, hold, is that? It's like playing Crackdown where you're like, wait, is that an agility orb? Wait, what was
yeah,
I? No, I have to go get that.
yeah. Wait. You stop.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Stop shooting me.
I have to climb this. I'll
Does
see you
anyone
later.
see where the orb is?
Yes. Where's
Oh,
the
man.
spotters? The modern day stuff was definitely a lot less playable in this version.
Yeah.
Like it was more presented to you than it was, you're actually involved in it. It's not as like it like the Desmond story, like at the end of Brotherhood and stuff, where you were really
you were
modern day
invested.
assassin. Yeah,
Well, like, remember at the end of, was it 2 or Brotherhood, where you stab Lucy and then, like, credits? And I was just like, what the hell? Like, these games are amazing. And Coach Jamal and Mina are both in chat saying I feel like they stop at the modern story, and then Coach Jamal saying not playing Unity won't ruin the experience then. You can just
No.
skip Unity. I went and I read like a wiki article for it, and then basically someone had put like a more detailed text-based recap of it. It's really all you need.
yeah. I don't know. Like I'm really excited to see where you play through at this by the end of this, like how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Because if you're having this many rosy feelings right from the rip, just wait.
Yeah. I kind of wish I'd played it last year, because I feel like if I would have gotten through it in last calendar year, it probably would have been on my top 10.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me.
Yeah.
It really was.
And I think I'm heading off to go do that cadaver mission now too. I'm so pumped about doing that.
I'm gonna pull up a show note too.
Yeah, I'm ready to start whenever you are. So I just realized I haven't really eaten today. I should probably go do that at some point.
Shared
I hope this window more. Oh, that's better. It's so friggin' hot in here.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
How much snow do you have? Did you get
Oh.
really dumped on?
Less than an inch.
Oh, really? You didn't get any of it?
We didn't get anything.
Huh.
It's bizarre. Like
It's like
like
just one pocket.
Southern Ohio got pummeled,
Huh.
and we got nothing. Like
Weird.
maybe a sprinkling. Like yeah, like my truck this morning, it was just froze. Like it was it.
Yeah.
It was just cold.
Huh. Ooh.
Yeah, so as I got that conference next week, and one of my coworkers is freaking out that they're going to cancel it. I was like, we're leaving on Tuesday,
Yeah,
but no, like, is someone to call, make sure all the speakers are going to be there? I was like, no, we're not going to call and find out the speakers are going
it's
to be
gonna
there.
be fine.
It's Tuesday.
Also,
This
it's
is
a
done Sunday. Like
also it's a
they have
conference. They have it figured out. You don't need to work. You just
they
need to
have
go.
like Sunday morning by like 3 o'clock. This stuff is done. That
Yeah,
gives them all of Sunday, all of Monday, and most of Tuesday.
yeah.
Like and that doesn't start till Wednesday. I'm like, there is nothing to worry about.
Bless you, kid. Yeah, that's crazy. NYC Badger in chat says, "Holy crap, Witcher 3, Family Matters of the Bloody Baron." Yeah, that thing is crazy. That's probably it's gonna be remembered for a long time as some of the best storytelling in games. It's so good.
Mm.
Whoa.
I don't know if I want to play that. I can't. Another week where like a game comes out for the Xbox. I guess.
Yeah. The Witness will come out on Xbox One later, apparently.
Yeah, but by that time I won't care.
It's true.
All right. Right.
Ready.
All right, ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases this week for January 25th, 2016. The Witness for PlayStation 4 and PC.
I'm so excited for this game. I showed my wife the trailer the other day. It's only like a minute long, and we're gonna try and play through it together. Because I think a game like that, where it's basically Myst with more puzzles, is probably going to be pretty good with two people trying to figure out the puzzles together.
Yeah, I like puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that game's really good.
Final Fantasy Explorers for the thirds.
I have that pre-ordered. It's basically Final Fantasy Monster Hunter. Here it's okay. So,
Yeah,
might sit on the pile for a little bit.
maybe. Lego Marvel's Avengers for everything.
I just read something this morning about. So this is kind of a known quantity at this point, but I guess they're, instead of like the Lego Marvel one that came out before,
Marvel Heroes, yeah.
yeah, where it was all like brand new voice acting. They're taking sound bites from all the Marvel Universe movies, like they did with the Lord of the Rings ones, and then they're making a story out of that, which could be pretty interesting. I guess there's 200 characters in it this time.
What?
And unlike a lot of the other Lego ones, each character is unique. So it's not like, oh, these 10 characters are all kind of like Spider-Man, and these all ones have something you can throw like a shield and that. So I guess they all have unique team-ups too. Like, this one sounds really
now it sounds
crazy.
like Marvel Ultimate Alliance Lego Edition.
Yeah. And they have an open world again, where you're wandering around Manhattan again. I really wish I didn't like these Lego games as much as I do.
Yeah, it just seems like another time dump.
Yeah, I haven't even played Lego, because I usually wait for a while. Lego Jurassic Park will probably get cheap now. I'm usually like 1 or 2 Lego games behind, because $60 is kind of a lot of money.
Yeah.
So maybe don't want to play that for a Lego game.
Well, we'll see how I come back. Like, if it's something I want to get, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not sure. And Rise of the Tomb Raider makes its PC debut.
Should play it. The game's good, everybody. Well, the new Tomb Raider games are good. As soon as I open this window, I get this. It's plain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a nice summer day.
Yeah.
It's always summer in San Diego.
It is. Sometimes it's spring.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to news stories. Microsoft is launching Minecraft Education Edition. I think they purchased. I don't remember if they purchased Mojang or if they purchased Minecraft a while ago. I don't remember. But I think everyone was sort of like, "What are you guys planning?" And they're like, "We don't want to mess up Minecraft, so don't worry about that." This is kind of interesting because I think, as we all know, a lot of kids like to play a lot of Minecraft.
Yes.
And what's interesting about the Education Edition is it seems like they're focusing it very clearly on schools so that they can kind of craft educational experiences around it, where they kind of the sample ones that they're giving are creating redstone circuits to sort of educate about electrical engineering. They're building some stuff in there to kind of take like recreational tours of. They have like the Temple of Artemis in there, so they have kind of history lessons, some stuff like that, art with some of the design tools they have in there. That's kind of interesting. I'm curious to see if it'll ever really take off, because I think, Knobs, you and we're approaching our mid-30s, so when there were games in school for us, it was like Reader Rabbit and Number Crunchers and stuff
Math Blasters.
Yeah, Math Blasters. It was all like this edutainment stuff, which was fun, but it seems like it was very much this kind of, not really babysitting, but it was very much like, look, you're still learning something. Like,
yeah.
Number Crunchers, like you're still learning how to do math. I'm curious to see how well this will be picked up, because Minecraft is such a phenomenon as a video game itself that I wonder if a lot of teachers would be hesitant to say, let's play Minecraft for school. That sounds like a great idea. I know there's already some of it in the classroom, but is an Education Edition going to push that further into the classroom and make teachers care about it more, maybe?
I don't know, because I remember like when I was in elementary school, like we had like the computer lab.
Yep.
It was like the only place in the building where there were computers.
Had some Apple IIe's in there.
Oh yeah, Apple IIe's, playing whatever that we were playing, Oregon Trail, and whatever that one game with the it was almost like a Centipede ripoff, but it had like the big blocks, and it always opened with Foley, like that.
Oh god, what game was that?
It was like Worm something.
I don't remember, but I
you know
remember
what I'm
what
talking
it
about,
is.
because it had that chip tune. Yeah. Like, oh, this is great. And then it just dropped, and it just like, bop, 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 like, I don't know, whatever. It had like the Math Blaster. I always liked Math Blaster just because it was of the games, like, it was the most game-like game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like as going through that, because I like really started like at third grade when we started getting in there, and then by the time we got to like fourth and by fifth and sixth grade, like we never went to that room like ever again. Like,
yeah,
like, you kids are too old for that.
You're like looking through the window. It's like, oh no, look at how much fun they're having.
Little kids are sitting there screaming, having a blast. Like I remember we had to put in like our reading, like our cognitive tests were all in there. It was just from that point on, it was just all text based.
Yeah.
Ugh. Like, do I really need to give a summary of Little Women? Come on. Like,
yeah.
I read the back of the book. I mean,
there
I'm
are
just
a couple of small
I'm
women.
making this up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of curious to
What's the song? Like Axel number 5 or something? What's the name of that song?
That? Foley number
Foley?
5?
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Oh, what a weird song.
You know.
All right, our only other news story today is, I'm surprised this continues to be a series of news stories. ESPN starts esports coverage. They launched an entire new vertical on their site for esports. It's espn.go.com/esports. They're covering League of Legends, Dota 2, and Hearthstone. It looks like they're covering some Smash Brothers stuff too. I think what's really crazy is if you go to that site, it's just full-on ESPN. Like at the top right now, they have the football games that are happening today. And below it, they are talking about Team Impulse. And I was going through and I was watching some of these videos and I was reading some of these news stories. They're really good. Like this Team Impulse thing is 1.5 minutes, and they give a pretty good, concise coverage of it. And if you don't know what a lot of these esports stuff are, a lot of these articles are pretty good about saying, all right, they're playing Smash Brothers. Here's what this game is. They had a Hearthstone article that was really good and really long about here's why Hearthstone is important. Here's why it's different from poker. Here's why it's different from Magic the Gathering. And here's why people love it. And here's why these teams are really cool. That's really neat.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because I think a lot of ESPN's coverage of esports has been like StarCraft, and everyone at a distance being like, why are we showing this? What is happening? Like, someone told me to put on this video game on my channel, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But I feel like this is an actual honest attempt at it that we haven't really seen before. And I think, if anything, I'm surprised that 2016's news story so far seems to be, hey, esports. Hey, esports in VR.
Yeah, it's
those
weirdest
things that
things.
failed 10 years ago. Hey, they're back and people care again.
At least it's not G4 ESPN edition.
Remember when G4 and I think even Tech TV showed like Quake matches?
Yes.
They were showing like Quake 3 matches. They tried so hard and they got the wrong hosts. They got like game show hosts.
Oh, like it was either game show hosts or that one dude that was like way too into like yelling at people. And
And it's sort of like
they were like they wanted that WWE announcer, like
Right.
just.
oh, did
like,
you see
no,
that rocket
let's
jump?
go.
What?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like,
Oh,
I
the
don't-
railgun shot from across the map.
And
He
I-
didn't even see him coming around the corner, folks.
Let's show
Like,
that
just-
again. And I think, if anything, they've learned so much from the Games Done Quick live stream series, where it's like, all right, we have the people that are playing, but we also have these people over here that know exactly, number one, how to commentate, but number two, they've been through, like a lot of professional sports commentators, they played the sport. So, like, if you have League of Legends commentators, they played League of Legends for probably 5 years, and they were at the top, and they've retired. So they know what they're talking about. Like, your Dota 2 commentators, they know exactly what they're talking about, but they also know how to break it down, because it's not... You can pick up football if you watch it for a little bit of time. You watch Dota 2, there's like 55 characters, and each one of them does 10 different things. You need someone to be like, all right, here's what their ultimate is. We call that the ult. You know, it's on this button, and it's supposed to be X, Y, and Z. You know, and I think they've finally figured out you need to have...
You need to have an informed announcer. Like, that's what it boils down to. Someone that's able to explain that in layman's terms. Because without that, there's no way... Without trying to learn that, which is an aggressive thing to do, you're never going to have that connection with an audience.
It's like watching cricket.
Yeah.
You're watching and you're like, wait, they scored? He got 35 points?
Why is this guy running back and forth between these sticks?
Right, there's 400 people on field. Like, I don't understand. I feel like that's what a lot of esports has been, where it's like, I don't know, it's 2 a.m. on ESPN 20. Here's cricket. You know, like, who cares? And they're way deep. This is super inside baseball, but, you know, whatever. I don't know. I want esports to be interesting, and I also want them to find a better name than esports. Please. That sucks so bad.
Well, they already can't beat the, unbeatable Banchu.
Yeah.
I missed that show.
That was pretty good. All right, let's move on to emails.
What's up?
Where's my emails? Here it is. Robert C. writes in, hey, Boston and Knobs, it's been a while since my first question for the podcast. I figure you guys could feel another one. Keep writing in. Welcome back. Long-time listener, second-time writer. I'm huge into board games, and I've recently been seeing a lot of board games based on video game properties. Assassin's Creed, Batman, Arkham City, and even Portal have been giving the tabletop treatment. Are there any video games that you think might be good where they turn into plastic and cardboard? Thanks for the podcast. You guys are great. I have to lay down one rule here. No Borderlands. That's a given.
All right, tell me Portal is the new Chutes and Ladders.
Now I need to go look. I didn't think I cared about it until then.
Like, tell me that wouldn't be the greatest thing in the world.
Oh, man. Valve, I have a proposition for you. I just need 50% of profits.
Oh,
What?
25. Sold.
Yeah, I got him. What video games would be good as a tabletop? I'm thinking most RPGs would sort of normally sort of be picked up and put into some of those, so I sort of don't want to choose those.
How great would be a Final Fantasy monster manual for D&D?
That'd be so good. I want that. I
Like,
want to read that.
yeah,
I want to go to there.
I want to go to that place.
What other video games would be good? I'm trying to think of anything that would be. I mean, I cut us off at the knees by seeing no Borderlands because that would be kind of perfect. The only one that came into my mind is like, how could you make a God of War? Maybe Uncharted would be good because you have like the spelunking and you have the.
How does that translate into a board game? Like other
I don't
than,
know.
I would think like a good mystery game like Hotel Dusk would be a fun
Ooh, yeah.
would be a good like card based like almost like Clue S style game.
Coach Jamal in chat says Bloodborne. That could be kind of neat. See, the thing too is like, I know so many people that play video games also play board games. I cannot tell you the last time I played a board game, like 30 years ago, other than like Monopoly or like a traditional board game.
Like
They're
seen it.
they're so different nowadays. Like they're real. Like you're sitting there with a bunch of friends for a while, playing a game with not really complex rules, but kind of interesting setups. You know, it's not just like, yeah, roll some dice, we're moving, playing the game of life, whatever.
Well, it's not like we're sitting around playing Othello.
Yeah, something like that. Like they're real gamey games. That doesn't mean anything, but like they're meatier than they
I
were
don't know.
when we were
Still, one of
kids.
the greatest things I ever saw was they converted instead of playing beer pong, they're playing beer battleship.
Great.
Tell me that. How did we not think of that?
Yeah.
Like that is just brilliant.
NYC Badger in chat says Mass Effect. That could
Yeah.
be kind of neat. Exploring the galaxy. Talking to Elcor.
You've run into Thresher Maws. Goodbye.
You run into Thresher Maws, you're all dead. Game is over.
Wolfenstein.
That'd be interesting, yeah. Maybe the old like Wolfenstein's Castle game, where you kind of infiltrate the castle. I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, but it's so hard. Like, I mean, pretty much everything we described would almost have to be like a lot of stuff. Like Mass Effect would have to be almost like a D&D style game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, essentially, that's what it is already, and that's the frustrating part.
Yeah, and like the part that I'm getting frustrated is like I don't want to. This is so board games are so out of my wheelhouse that I kind of don't know what would make a good or a bad board game nowadays. I almost want to say like, oh man, Mass Effect would be perfect as this style game that it's a big board game. I don't know. Like I only have so many hours in the day. Like I can't keep track of board games too, and I feel kind of badly because I know there's a lot of great board game stuff out there that isn't like, all right, everybody around the table, the power's out, we're gonna play Uno and Monopoly. Who's gonna start a fight with who?
I could imagine like a number-based game, the Phoenix Wright, just being able
Gathering your evidence.
the Mac saying that. Like I had this thing like playing like Phase 10, but Phoenix Wright, and like it's like instead of saying BS, you'd be like objection.
Yeah, that was the Max 1087 in chat. That was really good.
Yeah, that's
really
a great one.
NYC Badger says you could do a card-based Mass Effect. Go on. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, there's enough lore in that. That could be a card battler.
Yeah, that could be, and enough gear that could kind of be. You can have your cards for a loadout.
Is there a card battler that even has like a dice set to it too?
Oh, I'm sure. Something. I don't know.
You get one roll to enhance your cards.
Yeah.
In a world, you decide to die.
All right, let's move on to tweets here. Whiskmag writes in and says, any thoughts on Destiny Season 2? Is it still flourishing? Starting to see some less than stellar comments. Haven't played Destiny for about a month, so maybe that's your answer. I think
No, they need to do like a full collection thing and then let it sit for a year and then come out with season 2. Like, oh yeah.
see, that's kind of what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Like with the Legendary Edition or whatever they called it, with the base game and then the Taken King, they came out with that, and then kind of, I think the thing about year one is like, all right, we put out this base game. In a couple months, we'll have a big piece of DLC. A couple months after that, we'll have another one, and after that, it's just we're working on it, but it's big. And they put out the Taken King, and there's a ton of content in there. But then they're kind of like, enjoy, and then they left. It's sort of like, but like you're yelling after them like, what's next? And they're like, yeah, see you later. We'll be back. But
yeah,
it's like the beginning of Fifth Element. It's like in 1,000 years we will return for the fifth. It's like sort of like, but what do I do now? It's like, I don't know. So I think
keep this key safe.
Exactly, and like I've been through all the Destiny content that I want to do. I don't want to do the hard mode raid because I don't have the time, and I don't want to go through that frustration. I went through the normal mode raid, and it was a lot of fun, and I feel like I've had that experience, and I kind of want to bottle it up and be like, put it on the shelf and be like, all right, King's Fall raid was really good. Boop, moving on.
I think as long as they keep their audience engaged, it doesn't really matter.
But that's the problem we're running into now, is Bungie took basically like a month and a half off from doing like their weekly updates, and there's nothing really going on in the game, and everything they keep coming out with, like the Sparrow racing that they came out with was fun, but there were 2 maps. And they're like, well, if you play enough, then maybe we'll make more maps and it'll come back later. And it's like,
that's going about it wrong, I think.
And like that's my thing too, is like these maps are good and this thing is good, but unless you keep improving it like Iron Banner. So Iron Banner comes back every, I think it's like 4 or 5 weeks, but it's on a schedule. So all right, next weekend we're probably going to get Iron Banner. All right, I got to get all my gear together. I got to get my crew back together. We're going to roll into Crucible Deep, and we're just going to do this. I really liked that Sparrow racing, but I didn't want to put too much time into it because I didn't know if it was going to come back again. And they did like the Festival of the Lost for Christmas or Halloween last year, and they're doing a Valentine's thing next month, but there's nothing really there. Like there's no real new content. You're just kind of reskinning the tower, and you do a little bit of stuff where you spend an afternoon and you're like, no, that was fun. Cool. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what they want you to do. Maybe they want you to just come back every once in a while and be like, Destiny. And my wife and I play for like 2 or 3 hours and then we're done. But I don't know. I think the biggest thing is we don't know what they're really working on. And from reports, Kotaku, Jason Shearer over there has been writing a ton of really great articles about it, like really behind the scenes and, anonymous tipsters and stuff like that. It sounds like their ship is on fire. Just, it's a wood pirate ship and it's on fire 100% of the time.
Huh.
And the stuff they get out is kind of a miracle, like tooth and nail, and they'll be almost done with content, and then management will be like, that kind of sucks, do it again. And it's like, we don't have the time. What? Like, what's happening? And the rumor continues to swirl that there's a big new expansion coming this September, and the Jason Shearer just posted something that's like, yeah, that got pushed back until a certain point. We don't know when.
If they keep that up, it's going to be an out revolt.
And like they cut content out of the Taken King because they ran out of time, which is fine. But then where does that stuff land, if it ever lands? The Taken King content allegedly was cut out of vanilla Destiny. So like how much are you rolling? Like it seems like they're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul here, but they're never getting ahead of it. So
right.
And I know this is a game that nobody's really made before, and I know software development and game development is really hard, but how do you, as a studio get out in front of that stuff before it just eats you alive? I don't.
We'll find out.
We'll find out in 2016, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Corey from For the Love of Gaming podcast writes in and says, Knobs, Corey here. I share your love for the Elite controller. I'd marry it if I could.
It is. Have you got one yet?
I can't justify that price, dude. Microsoft, if you'd like to send me one, please PM me and I will send you my address. It's so expensive, and I don't. It's not, the Xbox One's not my primary console, so spending $150 on a controller.
But it's awesome.
I know, and like, it's that sort of thing where it's like, if it was on the 360, like if this was a controller that came out for the 360, or if it's a controller that came out for the PS4 that's like this, I could probably justify it because that's where I'm primarily spending my console time. I can't.
It's so good.
I can't justify it. My mortgage is so much money. I live in California. My mortgage.
Okay.
Someday one will just fall out of the back of the truck.
Someday we'll give it a try.
Or Microsoft will give us a whole bunch of them at work or something. Who knows?
Someday we'll make it all right.
Someday.
Someday.
All right, that's all of our emails and tweets. Thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. And if you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us, tvgpfans@gmail.com. And tweet us at tvgp.
Funny.
Almost lost that one. Everything else is on the right-hand side of the page.
Don't forget to join the forums, please. Mark yourselves on the map. Join us for our weeks of game night. Retro week this week on Monday Night Game Night. We were playing Battlefield 4. You don't need all the DLC. We're probably playing vanilla maps anyway.
And it's so cheap.
I haven't installed anything yet.
It's so cheap.
I am going to get on that after this is done. Mark yourselves on the map. Monday, Battlefield 4 this week only. Tuesdays, Destiny. Wednesday, Rocket League. Thursday, Steam Game Night. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday is, hey, it's games. Hooray!
Find us, play some games. And don't forget, this month's Game Club game is Mr. Knobs' own pick, Asura's Wrath.
I'm angry.
I need to find my copy so I can start making videos for YouTube of Asura's Wrath.
It's so good. It's so pretty. It's the way it's set up. Like, you literally can play one episode, and it's like a self-contained
Yeah,
chunk.
and just kind of take
It even
chunk by
has
chunk.
stingers for commercials.
It does. That's gonna help me. Put that
Definitely
on YouTube a lot.
editing. Editing's real easy with that one.
Yeah, and NYC Badger in chat, thank you very much for reminding me. Go visit our Discord app. Discord is basically a games-focused chat room where basically a bunch of us hang out, and if we're playing games, you can chat on that, and if not, like Hannah and I and NYC Badger are usually chatting it up while we're all at our respective jobs, and come chat with a bunch of TVG peeps. You can't go wrong. It's a good time. And that's our episode. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Laters.
Okay,
So,
I've got three titles, and the third one has to be it.
I'm going to say game number 7559944.
That's it? The only other two?
That's because that is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
It is.
so good. The only other two I have are You've Got Hands and Equally Worthless. But
I mean, that's
it's too good.
because that is like, that's exact. I should have took a picture of it. Is what I should have done.
Yeah,
But it's
it's so
man.
good.
I was looking. I was like, what game number is this? Because I have to note this particular number because it gave me so much trouble.
Out of anything. All right, let's start in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 431 for January 25th, 2016. Game number 7559944.
It took me an hour and 45 minutes. Hope you can do better.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, please toss us a like. That helps a ton. And subscribe if you want to see more stuff falling on knobs, basically.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
that's
that happened pre-show.
The second time this has happened in the history. Is it going to be something else?
I'm going to nerf this room before this year's out.
I think you should. It's the only way to know you'll be safe.
Nothing is going to be higher than 5 feet. And this is way under 5 feet. And it still landed on me.
Damn it. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We'll see you all next week.
See ya.